always the case. So moving on to slide 23, attributions of warmth and competence. So this is talking about strangers and how we socially perceive strangers. I mentioned in a few mini lectures back that the unknown, the novelty, causes the amygdala to have heightened activation because often we don't know if that new thing can be categorized as safe or not. So the question is, how do we perceive strangers? Well, we have to perceive whether they are showing warmth or coldness, whether they're competent or incompetent. And often this is just based on in-group versus out-group. So we often view the in-group as being warmer and more competent, and the out-group as being incompetent and cold. So often, you know, people who not just are in the out-group, but often people who lack these societal standards fall into the categories of cold or incompetent. So think of people who are in poverty, people who are homeless. These are often people who in our society lack worth, and so often get these attributions of a lack of warmth, a lack of competence, even if it's fundamentally untrue, because any of us could be placed into those situations at any time in our lives just based on luck. So, you know, you also have to think about how age is a factor in this. Ageism is a major problem, especially in the Western world, where the older you get, you know, past 65 or so, the less worth you're seen as having in society, and often the less competent you are viewed, and often you're viewed as colder through no fault of your own other than just having lived that long. So, we're going to move on to the very last slide. It's a little bit longer mini lecture, but I'm trying to fit it all in. So slide 24 is just a short slide on our article that is connected to this chapter. It is the Z article 2019 about visible and invisible social support. So this is when somebody helps you out, whether it's, you know, giving a helping hand, you know, financial aid, you know, any type of support. And whether it is visible, so something that's directly given to you, you know that it's been given to you, you know who it's from, and you know that you are the person who's been helped. Or whether it's invisible, so it's indirect. You're not aware of who has helped you. You may not even be aware that you were helped. So you may not notice that you are the recipient of help, even though you may have been greatly helped. Or you may just not know who the person was who helped you. And this paper asks some basic questions, such as how do these two differ, whether they're visible or invisible for social support? Why is invisible support often more beneficial to a lot of people? And when is that invisible support often needed? So as you read the paper, keep those 3 research questions in mind, and also think about how this might apply in your own life. I have a discussion question on the slide, but also on the discussion board for you to think about. And think about what are the possible consequences of offering either type of support, visible or invisible, to someone. You know, how might someone react to receiving support? Does it depend on the type of support, the situation, the context? And how might it depend on whether that person is a stranger or someone who's close to you? Because we do know that visible support can sometimes have unintended negative consequences. And invisible support can avoid these negative consequences. So make sure that you read that article, and especially during this time of many people, you know, losing jobs, kind of suffering through everything going on with the virus and the economy kind of crashing. Think about where you fit in for being able to offer or receive social support. What you can take from this paper to add into your own life. Never read a research paper without taking something from it that you can, you know, without taking something that you can use in your own research or just in your own life, in your own world. Otherwise, we've just wasted our time reading another paper for class when we can gain something from it. So I hope that you guys have learned something throughout this. Oh, kitty underneath the blanket's waking up and moving my laptop. I hope you've learned something. These mini lectures for this week have been all kinds of all over the place. And that's just the way it's going to be. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the discussion board. And otherwise, I will see you all next week when we go over Chapter 9. Bye!